Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlemle in Accra on digital address GA0993341 on Joy 99.7 FM. Is also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telesol 4G, Just a Touch. And coming up, Vice Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, summoned to Parliament as leadership crisis deepens.
Lasting solution to every, not Winneba alone, but that would be a case study for all the universities. Last week it was tech, another time it is this, another different time. So we want to find lasting solution to it.
Meanwhile, students continue to bear the brunt of the impasse. Also, Wager Circuit Court grants driver and maid charged with assault of police officer bail. We hear from mother of the driver.
We are school, no. My niece can't 20 so I'm this year school. And I'm here that when you say
we have details, and in our Ghana Man series, we'll take you to Osukinkanwe to tell you about Bojemo, a naming ceremony for the Ga people.
Morning, the Patero family selects a special person to outdoor and also name the child.
And also in sports.
Now, competitive football in the country returns after a 9-month hiatus. We'll tell you reactions to this news as the competitions for the Premier and also clubs in the Division 1 kickstart this weekend.
I know my love. I know my love. Oh, my love.
Now, 8 songs, including Obia Wane Master, CCTV, My Level, and many more in contention for Music of the Year, as all get set for the prestigious 3 Music Awards in Accra tomorrow. We also have the latest on our Fantastic Four tour. All that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. And in our very first story for this afternoon, Parliament's Education Committee has summoned University of Education Vice Chancellor Professor Afo Bruni over current disagreements that have led to the closure of the school. The committee met with UTAC executives this week over the matter. We'll get to hear from him shortly, but first though, a wrap of events so far.
As far as management is concerned, the university remains shut down on the instruction of the chairman of Regional Security Council.
We apologize for that. We'll bring you that wrap shortly, but let's get on the line now and speak to parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku Gakpo, who's been speaking to chairman of the Education Committee. But let's go back to that wrap.
The controversy started when in 2017, the Governing Council of the University asked Vice Chancellor Professor Mauta Avoke and 4 other top officials to step aside. This was after one Supi Kofi Kwaira, suspected to be a front for the MP for the area, Alexander Afenyomaken, filed a complaint alleging financial and procurement irregularities against them. Not long after, the Supreme Court quashed the decision by the High Court in Winneba that found Professor Avoke and another guilty of these procurement and financial irregularities. Professor Avoke, who had been demanding reinstatement after the Supreme Court's ruling, was replaced with the current Vice Chancellor, Professor Anthony Afo Bruni. The dust seemed to have been settling until the current Vice Chancellor sacked 3 influential lecturers for varying reasons, including failing to cooperate with management and instituting legal action against the school. The MP for the area, who fell out with the Vice Chancellor, assured the public that the sacked lecturers will be reinstated. This was contradicted by the University Council. The University Teachers Association of Ghana then demanded the removal of the Vice Chancellor and the Chairman of the University's Council, Professor Nicholas Abaka, accusing them of wrongfully promoting the latter. But a group of teachers in the school, calling itself Concerned Lecturers, is dissociating itself from their national leadership and demanding the resignation of the UTAC national president. While the minority in Ghana's parliament just waded into the storm, backing calls for the resignation of the Vice Chancellor and the council chairman of the university.
So that's where we are regarding the impasse at the University of Education, Winneba. Let's get on the line now and speak to parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, because there's the latest development in Parliament, and we are told that the Education Committee have summoned Vice-Chancellor Professor Aful Bruni over the matter. But we can hear from the chairman of the committee, Dr. Siaka.
The UEW issue is a concern to all Ghanaians and concern to everybody, all major stakeholders, including Parliament. So our committee have started, engaging them. And the next on the line is the Vice Chancellor and other people. We are meeting them separately. The rationale behind is to know exactly what is actually, the story there. So each body, recognized body there, will give the story, so that we'll compile it and present to the House.
So what has the UTAC been telling you, for example, when they came?
Oh, since we have not yet met the other group, I don't want to leak such vital information, else it will distort the whole thing.
And to give me a sense, so when the Vice Chancellor comes next week, what will you be seeking to find out from him?
Well, we've all heard about the hula baloo there. At least when the UTAC people they confirm it. And they started with some genesis to where they are now. So they also give it their story. If there's cross-examination, we'll do that and then get the actual facts on the ground. Yeah.
And after meeting UTA, after meeting the Vice Chancellor, that's why do you have the confidence the issues will be resolved permanently? So peace can be restored?
We want to have lasting solution to every, not Winneba alone, but that would be a case study for all the universities. Last week it was tech, another time it is this, another different type. So we want to find lasting solution to it, and that is why we are approaching it at a snail pace. People think it's very slow, but it's better to be slow and get lasting solution.
Meanwhile, the school remains closed.
It's part of the arrangements. It's part of the arrangements. So when we get to the bottom, the school will be open.
And what timelines are you giving yourselves as Parliament to really get to the bottom of this and make the appropriate recommendations to the floor?
We are working as a team, so the information will come to the gallery, and then we'll take the decision from there. So that's what we are doing now. Yes. So after meeting the Vice Chancellor, the council will come, and the student body will also come. So it's a chain. Yeah, we meet everybody.
You heard that the chairman of the Education Committee of Parliament, Mr. Siaka Stevens. We're still working the lines to get some reactions from the Education Ministry, as well as the Minister in charge of Tertiary Education. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo did that interview with Mr. Siaka Stevens and joins us on the line. But does it appear to you, Joseph, that the members of the Education Committee are really worried about the development at the University of Education, Winneba?
Exactly the case, and we gather that for some weeks now they've been trying to get the various parties in order for them to come respond to questions on the issue, to the extent that from the indication that we're getting, the plan was to have met the various parties possibly in the course of this week as quickly as possible, so that then they can put together their recommendations, except for difficulties with scheduling, which is now delaying things. And so the members of the committee have indicated that both the majority and the minority side, they would want to meet the various parties. And I gather that beyond the individual meetings that they are doing with them, there's a conversation around getting all of them together alongside members of the Education Committee, so that then together they could come to a conclusion on what the way forward should be, even before the committee submits its recommendations to the floor.
We're grateful. That's Joseph Opoku-Gakpo bringing us the latest from Parliament regarding the UEW impasse. Now, a Wager Circuit Court has granted bail to a commercial driver and his mate accused of assaulting a police officer. A team of 9 legal practitioners led by Martin Pebu argued their clients will only remain safe if they are removed from the custody of the police. They told the court the two had been brutalized by policemen since the court asked that they are kept in the custody of the police till April 1. Joseph Akable was in court and joins me in the studio. Tell us all about the showdown in court today.
So the lawyers, a team of lawyers comprising 9 of them actually, led by Martin Pebu, they came over, they moved the application for bail. They told the court that since the last court date, they had visited the 2 individuals and realized that they had been brutalized by the policemen. In fact, Martin Pebu said that the Director General for the CID, Mamiti Wadodankwa herself, intervened in the matter, leading to the individuals being moved from the custody of the police to a BNI facility where the CID boss, according to them, they felt that they could be safer. And so once that application was moved, there was no response from the state prosecutors or the Attorney General's office because they didn't show up in court, which meant that that the two individuals were also not present in court when their lawyers made the application.
Okay.
We understand from the lawyers that they had served the Attorney General's office and the police as well, but they failed to show up. But I've been interacting with a mother of the driver, and she says her son is innocent of the charges.
Mebano, Jai. Ni wuni ashe, wuni just one pekasa. And to code you one pet. Kasa one will be on kasa with your two you. One made get some phone shop, say, Mammy, show who you. Show who you was so show who ye. Was the mammy, Nadia, would you not hear me? Na me dear, me abemoa, me am who near set, Miss Wonami, Mission soon. Timbani dear, we catch a radiant munyam say, I dance dinner for dinner. And one and five so no, or a draban. We go real school, no, my yes can't one or so. I'm this year Draby school. And I mean, I would have when you say, a man be
So tell us what she's been saying, Joseph.
So that is Mary Butchie. She says that the conduct of her son is known to be a good one. Anyone testifies to that anytime she interacts with the son is always come and asking about her well-being, and that she doesn't think that she did what is alleged to have done.
But do we know if they are free now? Like, are they still in custody?
Not yet, because they were not actually brought to the court. So we understand that the court order has to be served on the CID. Okay. The CID will have to forward that to the BNI facility where they are being kept, after which they'll be released. But the lawyers are hoping to complete that process before close of day.
But were we told about the details of the brutalities, for instance? That we
not the specifics, but we understand that they are actually captured in the documents that were actually presented to the court that we didn't have the opportunity to see. But in terms of the oral presentation made by the lawyers, they say that they are in some physical pain, which makes it important for them to be granted bail to receive medical attention.
But a 9-member legal team, you've talked about Martin Pebu. Who else is on that team?
There is also Francis Xavier Sosu. We also had representation from the Human Rights Advocacy Center that has also taken an interest in this matter as well. But I've also been engaging some officials of the GPRTU. Abbas Ibrahim, he is the Industrial Relations Officer for Greater Accra.
You can see what happens at the court. We have as many as 9 lawyers defending our driver. He's not a GPRTU member, but he's a driver. And we are all professional drivers. We felt it is necessary because there are so many questions we have to ask. The incident which involves that driver and the police officer. The police officer was officially stationed there. What happens? And what prompted the fighting? So many issues. You see, so honestly, I must say, I'm very happy we have secured the needed points which has qualified us to the next World Cup. They have been put on bail to have very good medical care before Monday. On the 1st, if inshallah, if God permits, we shall be here to make sure we continue with the journey.
So you heard that the GPRTU, but when next are we in court?
April 1, which is just Monday, and if documents have been served as the court expects it to be done, then we can expect a substantive case to be heard. If not, then an adjournment will have to be taken.
Thank you, Joseph Akable. Now, the People's National Convention is backing calls by the National Democratic Congress for broad consultations on the Electoral Commission's plan to compile a new voters register for the 2020 elections. The EC announced the decision after an inter-party advisory committee meeting, but the NDC says no definite decision was taken on the matter. National organizer of the PNC, Desmond Chumesinto, says more engagement is required for a successful rollout.
Because that was not part of the agenda, most of us at the meeting didn't even talk about it. And so for us to wake up and we hearing that we have agreed that we should change the voters register and all political parties have agreed to that, I think it's a bit unfair. The EC alone cannot just stand up and say, I am coming out with a new voters register without involving the key players of this game.
Now, the NDC's Director of Elections, Elvis Ifriankra, says any decision to sideline the political parties will not augur well.
Things must be done right. The whole essence of an election is to have confidence in the process. And the compilation of a voters register is a key ingredient to that process. In fact, that is the heart and foundation of the entire electoral process. So, such a major issue, look at the agenda. Okay, preparations for 2019 district level elections, inspection of political party offices, update on the compliance of the political parties with audit requirements. Between these three and the compilation of a new register, which one has more significance?
But a commissioner in charge of finance and administration with the EC, Dr. Bosman Asare, says the parties were duly informed of the decision.
I don't think they have any particular position apart from publicly engaging in some partisan wranglings and, if you like, rantings. Because privately, when they meet you, they come to us, we work together, we put structures in place. But with the commission, we are not going to engage in any partisan pandering. Genuinely, they are entitled to that particular opinion. But for them to say that we didn't discuss it, because it was mentioned at the meeting.
They're asking you to withdraw the statement. You're going to withdraw it?
No, the commission will meet over it.
So that's the EC, Deputy EC Commissioner there. Now, wealth, attitude, beauty, and height ranked high when we handed our microphones to some Ghanaians to discuss what influences their choice of a partner. This is in sharp contrast to data captured in the latest Ghana Living Standards survey analyzed by data analysts, which reveals most Ghanaians are actually married or in partnership with members of their own tribe. There's more in the following report.
You should consider the age of the person.
I'm looking at a man who respects me as a woman.
Such reasons tend to be the guiding principle that cause people to either fall out of love or take their loved ones a step further, a walk down the aisle. Musicians and film producers have over the past decades attempted to address such matters in various movies and songs.
Your father, always your father.
Why don't you ask him if we can ever get married?
Do you know what he'll say? Bob, what are you? You're a palm wine tapper. I'm not giving my daughter to a poor man like you.
Ghanaian data analyst based at the Center for Economic Research and Graduate Education, Emmanuel Ameal, in his research into marriages in Ghana, accesses data from the Statistical Service. The research found that many people are actually married to persons from their ethnic groups. I caught up with Kweku, as he chooses to be called. He's been married for 3 years. He argues the ethnicity of his partner was not a deciding factor.
I was in courtship with my girlfriend, so it get to like, let's say 1 week before marriage that I asked her the tribe that she is. So I didn't consider whether she's a Fanti or not. Check. Yeah.
The researcher explains the revelations observed in the data do not necessarily mean many people are being deliberate about choosing people who belong to their ethnic group.
I don't think it is deliberate. I think people tend to stay at their place of birth or where they were born for quite a long time.
So what do you consider? Wealth, beauty, attitude, or you just falling?
I can't help falling in love with you.
So that's the status of these marriages. But let's head to the central region now, because a grieving father has filed an official complaint about medical negligence leading to the death of his infant daughter at the University of Cape Coast Hospital last week. Samuel Chibu Thompson says that his wife was a patient at the hospital from the moment she became pregnant up until the date of delivery. But on the day of delivery, those attending to her failed to deliver appropriate medical care, leading to death of his daughter. Let's speak to Richard Kojunyako, who's been following the story and has more details on it. So, Richard, tell us a bit more about this incident.
Well, on Saturday, Mr. Chibu and the wife went to the hospital. The wife was pregnant, and so they demanded that, owing to the situation they find themselves, a CS should be done, but the doctors rejected. And they also complained of the lackadaisical attitude of some of the staff who attended to them. They also referred them to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital without a referral note, and then they were rejected by the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital to go back for the referral note. So by the time they returned to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, I mean, things had gotten complicated, and so the child was pronounced dead. And so that is why they are demanding from the University of Cape Coast, the hospital authorities, some responses from them. They want them to do something about the situation. Otherwise, they would decide, they would take an action.
Okay, but have we heard from the authorities of the hospital just yet on this particular matter?
Well, we've been speaking with Dr. Evans Ekan. He is the overall in charge, or the director of the University of Cape Coast Medical Service, and he says that some of the claims are not true, and they are also grieving with them because it's not easy for someone to lose the baby, but they will also order an audit, just as is done in every case such as that.
Very well, that's Richard Kojonyako there, but we can hear from Mr. Thompson making those claims.
Like I'll just sacrifice, and facts. I feel very sad about the whole thing. I feel very disappointed. I feel they killed my baby. Because as a father, I did everything possible with money, everything, just to make sure everything was fine. And for the fact that they knew that the baby's weight was big, that I know says, Apollo Congo say Opsua. Agent CS. He forced her to check the blood pressure before he allowed her to start pushing. Even she was denied oxygen because there is no oxygen. There wasn't no oxygen penniless in that maternity ward or the labor ward. There was nothing like that. The nurses there, essential and go can bear me witness said that there be an ambulance in my oxygen.
A case of a father who lost a daughter due to alleged negligence. On that sad note, we take a quick break, but this is the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top stories: Vice Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, summoned to Parliament as leadership crisis deepens there. Wager Circuit Court grants driver and mates charged with assault of police officer bail. And still to come here on the midday news in our Ghana Man series, we'll take you to Osukin Kanwe to tell you about Pojiemo, a naming ceremony for the gas.
Morning. The Patero family selects a special person to outdoor and also name the child.
And later,
I know my love. I know my love. Oh, my love.
8 songs, including Obia Wanemaster, CCTV, My Level, and many more in contention for Music of the Year, as all get set for the prestigious 3 Music Awards in Accra tomorrow. I have details after the break. Do stay.
Thank God it's Friday. I'm in the mood. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday.
Nah, cause for MTN number ni Dijuma. Never say yet it's in your summer war. I did auto credits and I check out who will be brave. We day for you everywhere you go.
If money no be problem, or you've caught the virus of success, then this party is for you. SC Connect Garden Party is a unique blend of fun, music, and good food. Come connect while having the time of your life with talents like Sonic at the Polo Grounds as we network and enjoy the community of SC Mobile. To get an invite to this party, simply download the SC Mobile digital banking app, activate and fund your account with a minimum of 200 Ghana cedis. The SC Connect Garden Party is happening on Saturday, 30th of March. Pick up your tickets at the Polo Grounds before then. It's gonna be awesome. You can't miss out. Visit the app or Play Store now and hashtag Be Unstoppable. Call our Client Care Center toll free on 0800 740 100 on all networks or email digitalbanking.gh@sc.com. Standard Chattered. Here for good. Terms and conditions apply.
Call them grudge matches. Call them the deciders. European Nights on Joy 99.7 FM are set to send your emotions on the roller coaster ride with mouth-watering clashes of the UEFA Champions League quarterfinals.
This is beyond extraordinary. And he's finally nailed the coffin there. Wow, this really is their night in paradise. And Manchester United have the goal. The continent is stunned by this. Cristiano Ronaldo with a hat-trick. It's the record equaling Champions League 8 hat-trick. And definitely pushes Juventus.
Live commentary, app description, edge of the seat staff, and massive interactivity is assured as the Joy Sports team led by George Addy Jr. and Gary Ausmin provide full coverage of crucial games in solving the equation of how 8 will become 4.
On Tuesday, April 9 at 6:45, Clubs Corps welcome Porto to Anfield and Spurs take on Pep's Manchester City. On Wednesday, April 10 at 6:45 p.m., it's Ole time with Barcelona visiting Old Trafford and the young Ajax dare the old lady of Italian football.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Let's do sports now. Ridwan has the latest.
Yes, we're looking forward to a good weekend because competitive football for men teams in the country bounces back this weekend after some 9 months following the Anas Armiyawa Nas expose, where some officials and also referees were caught on tape accepting bribes. Now the normalization committee has put together this competition to keep the top division and also second tier clubs busy, and also select representatives for the CAF Champions League and Confederation Cup for next year. According to chairman of Tamale City FC, Jones Al-Hassan Abu, this is a big relief for the clubs.
It's big. Apart from the footballers, the administrators, the trainers, and all those who run the game, there are other people whose lives are dependent on football. There's the poor old lady who sells, sachet water on during training times for teams or during matches. Her business has ground to a halt. There are sports equipment suppliers who supply to the clubs. Yeah. There are sponsors, who depend on the content, to get their money. All these have ground to a halt. So everybody should be happy about the return of competitive football to the country after that 9-month enforced absence.
You heard Jones Al-Hassan Abu of Tamale City FC. There's more football discussion, also preview to the weekend's run of sporting events. At 1 p.m., the locker room will be on.
And you know about our campaign to disband party militias now, and we're still making some headway. Moments ago, Majority Leader Osechi Mensah-Bonsu has hinted that the Attorney General will submit the bill on political party vigilantism to Parliament next week. He says this and other businesses may force the House to adjourn sitting on 12 April instead of the expected 5th April. Of course, we'll get more on this, plus know when the date and the venue. We're expecting the Peace Council to set that date and venue for that all-important meeting. We're following that closely as we continue our campaign on hashtag disband party militias now. And they are known for their staple food, that is the gakom, their dance, pan logo, among others. Today on our Ghana Man series, Joy News' Beryl and Nestina Richter takes a look at the outdooring and naming ceremony of the gas, which is called Ojimo. Here in Asafwa Chesaban's family house at Osukinkanwe, cries of a baby is heard after he's lifted to the skies and is shown toward the gas called Chochobi. Senior linguist of Osu Traditional Council, Nina Atobi Oberima Inso, says careful scrutiny of a person's character is done by the baby's paternal family on who to outdoor and name the child.
The paternal family selects a special person to outdoor and also name the child. The person should be sober and be of good character, worthy of emulation.
In this case, Edwin Lekwe Edwards is the man selected. In what is a typical traditional rite, the godfather raises the child 3 times to the skies and put the child on the bare floor, invoking the blessings of the gods and ancestors over the baby, while stepping over the baby 3 times.
He should be respectful. He should be victorious in everything.
When the baby cries after cold water is sprinkled on him or her, it signals its acceptance to be part of the family. Paternal grand uncle Lekwe Edwards dips a finger into corn wine and drops it on the tongue of the baby and tells the child,
corn is what we eat.
Tra ni umanye ablao. There's more on this on the Joy News channel, the full documentary. You would watch that on Pojemo on the Joy News channel. Of course, on Pulse as well, you can watch that. But let's talk about the 3 Music Awards. It's the second much-awaited edition of the 3 Music Awards, an award scheme set aside to award musicians who have excelled in the art, considering their respective works during the year under review. We know that all these categories are being keenly contested with interesting names in there. Yes, a report from Nancy Emefadradosi.
Are you all ready for the night of bliss, glamour, and certainly some good music? I guess you are. One category, which is the most sought after, is the Song of the Year. And your nominees are...
Baby, I want a master. Master. Obi, I need a master. Master. Oh, baby, yeah. Oh, baby, oh. I never think that I could fall in love like this again.
And that's happening tomorrow at the Fantasy Dome. And I bet Maps will be there. She has what's trending on social media. You taking me?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay.
VVIP things, man.
Of course. We'll go together. What are people talking about?
All right, people are talking about hashtag Mr. President at 75. It's the president's birthday today. And at Anka Maji says, happy birthday, President. God bless you. I just have one wish. As today is your birthday and weekend is here too, something small for the boys won't be bad, or from a hungry youth. And at Workaholic Tia says, on the special day of yours, Mr. President, please, I suggest you intervene on our music industry. GH artists are suffering too much, but they aren't getting paid. Hashtag Mr. President at 75.
We look forward to who would take the Song of the Year at the 3 Music Awards. I am Emefa Apau. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Have a good afternoon and enjoy your weekend.
Call them grudge matches. Call them the